Hi there, I'm Bonnie, Log Cabin Stitcher. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my sewing room and welcome to Colorado. I just decided to jump in and do this video. It has been at least a year and a half since I last did a video, and life has been pretty crazy and exciting and scary since then. And I didn't want to overthink this. I haven't even logged into my channel for about a year and a half. I just totally took a hiatus and did the things that my husband and I needed to do so that he could retire and that we could move. And in the midst of all that, selling a home, buying another home, things got a little crazy, and we ended up living in our little log cabin for a year and a half full time. And it was wonderful and hard. And so that's where I am. I will probably end up laughing hysterically or crying because I can't really even fathom doing a whole video and trying to remember how to do everything. So I don't even know if this is going to work. We'll see if it does. I'm going to do a short one because out here we got slower internet than I was used to at home. So it's going to be a little tiny bit of life update and what I'm stitching. And really, I started getting ready for what I used to do with getting everything organized in the patterns, and I thought, I'll never do it. So this is pretty raw and real, which is what I have always been. So for those of you who have followed with me in the past and been a part of my life, I hope you find me again, and I hope you find pleasure in reconnecting with me and the new me that you got. We all change, don't we? And those of you who may just be stumbling across me, this is what you get. I do these videos as if I had somebody visiting with me in my room, and so you get the real me. You don't get anything else but the real me. So I show you the things that I want to show you, and I tell you the things that I want to tell you, and I'm not even going to do, I was using a microphone. I have no clue where it is, and I would probably wrap myself up in it anyway. So here we go. I'm going to try to make this a half hour if I can last that long, and a little bit of a life update. Life's been insane. So I said we lived in our log cabin. For those of you who followed me before, you may remember that our log cabin is in the backwoods of the mountains, up in San Bernardino Mountains, up in Lake Arrowhead area, and we don't have running water. We live on a really rough dirt road, and it's in a primitive area. So that was very, very interesting, living without running water. And so people would say, you don't have running water? I said, oh, we run and we go get the water. And that way we have water. So it was fun. It was exciting. There was a lot of things that, that we learned up there, and we really got a lot of full-time use out of it, which was wonderful because we had thought we would have it forever. We thought we were going to retire and have that as our full-time home, or not, but just be there full-time. And it will be going on the market in May. So we will be selling that log cabin. So here I am, Bonnie Log Cabin Stitcher, but I love the log cabin block. So that's why I named myself Log Cabin, because we had a log cabin that I adored. But it just doesn't have a place in our life anymore now that we are 14, 15 hours away from the cabin, and a log cabin is incredibly high maintenance. So whoever buys it hopefully is young and agile and ready to tackle all that that has. But it was marvelous, and it was a good time in our life. But in the midst of that, my husband ended up having wrist surgeries on both of his wrists at different times, and I ended up doing a lot of the work that he had intended to do. So I was very busy, sometimes not stitching, but we restored a log cabin, and I did a lot of that work. So I learned a lot of interesting things. I was very sore but it is an amazing accomplishment, and we'll see if I share pictures of the cabin. Um, it's a very hard thing that we determined that it was time to sell it. So I just may walk through it with kind of ignoring that along the way. But we are here and we're in a home in Montrose, Colorado, and we love it here. I'm looking out. We had 14 inches of snow last night after a horrific windstorm yesterday. And so it's very bright, so I'm probably all washed out, but I'm not dealing with lights and all that. But I'm looking out onto a beautiful landscape of snow, and I'm in here warm and cozy, and I want to show you some of my stuff. So something else along the way. So I I have 5 hobbies, and quilter, cross stitcher, a lot of other things too. But along the way, a friend of mine helped me purchase this marvelous, beautiful, here she is. Her name is Nora, and she is my little featherweight. And I love her. She was born in 1952, February 22nd, 1952. And it is marvelous. I got an excellent deal on it, and I'm learning to sew with her and just engaging in all the fun stuff of featherweight. And I even had to buy a darling featherweight accessory. So that is something that I've been enjoying doing. That's a big change along the way. And that's been fun. So a lot of fun things. I will share my life in these videos. I have no clue how I'm going to be doing these in the future. We still have a lot of life changes going on, so I've never done them consistently. There's really little about me that's consistent, except that I like to talk a lot. But it's funny that oh, Riley is here. Do you guys remember Riley? Come here, buddy. Come here. Let's say hi. Let's say hi. Here's my Riley. And oh boy, Riley. We have been learning a lot of life lessons along this last year and a half. And I learned that if you go off trail here, even if it's in a campground, there was cactus, and oh, on Valentine's Day we all had a horrible experience with Riley getting stuck in cactus. And along the way he got taken care of, but along the way he also had a couple tumors removed because he had to get sedated. So there, he's healing from one of his little tumors, but he's good, he's doing well. And boy, that was not fun. So a lot of things along the way here, because I got to remember how to do these videos. But again, it's as if you're in my room with me, just having fun. I made this little teapot in a pottery class, and I have no clue. I've got to watch some of my videos because it has been so long. I have no idea what I shared with you and what I didn't share with you. We have different background. So it's so funny. If you guys remember my old videos, or if you're new to me, pop on one of my old videos, and you'll see in the background of my sewing room, I had a patch of paint that I thought nobody in the world would see except whoever was in my sewing room. Well, I invited the world to come in my sewing room, and this is actually the paint that I had done a swatch of. So bungalow beige, Behr paint. I finally did the room, but it's funny, you can see here, completely painted the ceiling, the whole shebang, and then we decided to do a little construction on the ceiling, and we shot some new texture coating and need to paint it. So gosh, that could be there for the whole life, and I may never get that done. Let's get on to the stitching. Oh, and my hand is a mess. I was thinking, oh, I can't do videos with my hands looking like a mess. Well, part of this mess came from the cactus patch and a terrified dog and an owner trying to get those. They were like balls of hell. 3-inch horrible balls of needles. I think it was prickly pear, I don't know. But in the midst of me trying to get those off, thank God I had thick gloves on because it was cold. He kind of bit me up a bit. So my hands are a mess, but that's life. So let me show you real quick the quilting stuff that I'm doing, just because you can see this is what I do. And I've got a wonderful, wonderful calluses going because I hand quilt. But as I've been getting all this stuff out, oh, there I go. I was going to tell you a little bit about this. This is a Kim Deal quilt, and I think it's, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a Kim Deal quilt, and I'll share that in the show notes because I'm sure I'm going to have questions. As I've redone this sewing room, this is like the sewing room of my dreams. I have a lot of the fun things. I had to find new places for things, excuse me. And in the doing of that, it has really been fun to get out some of these things that I've had forever. I was telling my husband, my goodness, these baskets I got, I think before I was married. I got married like at 19. And so my mom and I foraged in my grandparents' attic and found these amazing antique picnic baskets. So I have two big ones and a smaller one. So I've got my cross stitch stuff here. And then I do needle felting as well with wool roving, and I have dyed wool roving, and I was just organizing it, and I thought, oh, I don't want to put these away in a plastic box. I forgot even where to look. I'm looking at the quilt. Hopefully I'm looking at you. But I thought these are so beautiful. I want to have them out as decoration. And then I'm organizing my quilt magazines down there on the bottom, but I've got a bunch of quilts, and I've made new quilts since I've seen you guys, but this is what I have in process. But as I'm doing this, oh, this is a super, super old quilt, and I'll share that one too. But I did that long ago, and just fun stuff. I've got fun stuff in here. It gives me a lot of pleasure to just look around and see everything. And anyway, so we've been unpacking. We're trying to, I was telling a friend of mine, she said, how are you? I said, I feel like I will be forever unpacking and sorting and dealing with stuff. I'm calling it stuff management. And as we got ready to sell the house, my goodness, we got rid of 65 to 70% of what we owned. I still have way too much stuff, but they're treasures. So what I'm keeping is the treasures. And I went out to coffee with some friends, and well, it was a group, and some of the ladies I hadn't met before, and I was kind of saying something to someone, and I said I kind of got into the minimalist thoughts on clearing stuff out, and this lady looked at me and she said, what is your definition of minimalism? And I don't even remember what I said. And she said, well, let me tell you what it really is. She is a real minimalist. And she said, you know you're a minimalist if you go to look for something and realize you got rid of it. And I thought, oh, that is not me. So I've heard it termed as simplest, but simple. I'm a simple person. And so I like to simplify my life, but I have lots of treasures and I love them. But this is a new project that I was working on. So I love to hand quilt, and so it's very folk arty fun. It's based off of this quilt on the front of Primitive Quilter. What do we have? Winter 2013. And so I love to have containers, and we had our stuff in storage for at least a year. And all this, not all my quilts, and not most of I had some cross-stitch stuff with me, but stuff was in storage for a year, and I love this stuff. So when I started getting it out again, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so fun to think of new places to put things. Well, I opened up another box yesterday and found all these treasures. So I was trying to find out the right container. I like to have containers to put things in that give me joy. So I was thinking, what can I put these blocks in? Well, look at this, my lovely, I love enamel containers. It fits perfectly. And I realize I haven't, my dad passed away Christmas Eve 2022. And I haven't visited with you and all that. So I said, there's been a lot of life happening in our life, and that was one thing. So so a lot of times I have stuff from Dad. So I'll just say thank you, Dad. And this was, he loved smoking cigars, but this is a fun old cigar box. So this is my stuff. So these are my treasures, one of my mom's old baskets. So it gives me great pleasure, especially after things were in storage, to get things out, to use them, to enjoy them, to remember my life when I was a city girl, and do that. So that's a fun thing. So here we go. The cross stitch. 15 minutes in here, and I'll show you my cross stitch in my fun container. So I have lots of things that are finished and not fully finished. And I was thinking, oh, I'll do a video after they're fully finished. They may never be. So we're just doing this. And I haven't opened this box for like weeks. So we shall see. I've been to California and back since I opened this box. So let's just see what we have in here. It is very, very fun to have lived both at the cabin with snow, which was not always a happy thing. But out here, snow is happy because usually even the 14 inches that we got last night, it will be melted soon. And we're on a paved road. So, hey, that's really bonus. Hey. So anyway, I was not sure if I really wanted to do Let It Snow stuff because we had one of the things that happened to us last year is the blizzard that hit California, many other places too, but California was kind of like heard for the first time of having the blizzard. Oh yeah, that impacted us. We were out of our cabin for a month and a half. And so we went from place to place to place, and it was kind of eventful. Let me just say that. So I thought I had been doing like snow things because at first the snow at the cabin was really fun. And then I thought, I hate snow and I don't want to do any more snow stuff. Anyway, this year we're good. So here we go, 17 minutes. And here you go. So some of these, I will tell you, I don't have my glasses on, but this is done on straw weeks, 36 count. And it's 1/1. And it was picnic basket. I think it was Gentle Arts, but I finished the whole thing of it because that was what I had left. And this is really done in red, but I had seen something on Pinterest and it was brown, and I love, love, love brown. So it is pretty much done to the chart, except you may notice, see, here we go. Here's the chart. So Let It Snow by Threadwork Primitives. But you can see the edging. Oh, look at, see, here's the hand. You can see the edging. Oh, it matches though, all the red. This edging was just done on that side. And I just thought, I've just got a little bit of thread left. Let's see how far I can get. And I was probably watching a good movie and I just wanted to keep stitching and stitching. So I did it all the way around, and I just skipped 2 stitches along that top to pick it up again. So there's a two stitch gap in between all those, but there you go. I did it. I feel like I never was a big bike rider, so it's like getting back on the saddle. I've been in the saddle, what, twice on my sister's horse, not even on her horse, her friend's horse. There you go. I did one. So I made it. Okay, so here's another one. I'm wanting to finish things up because as I was unpacking and getting everything out, I thought I have a lot of whips and I have a lot of them that are almost done, and I want to get things done. And now that we actually have a winter and we have cold, I wanted to have seasonal decorations. So here's another one. This was a freebie and it was by Drawn Thread, and it's on 32 count dirty Belfast, and it's 2/2. So I think I did pretty much this according to the chart, probably not the colors. I know this one was dark chocolate, Gentle Arts. So it was fun. And for a while I was thinking this was, when I started this, it was supposed to be the pine tree that was outside of our cabin. Kurt called it Bonnie's tree. And I was thinking, if we sell the cabin, I don't want anything to do with anything from the mountains. And over time, I realize I can. I can. And it's going to be a good thing. So we keep telling ourselves the cabin had a place in our life, and it just doesn't have a place in our life anymore. So it can be. And we have big tall trees um, outside of our home here, and we have snow. So that was last night. But the fun thing is, I am totally a thrift store person, and even more since we lived up in the mountains. We had an amazing thrift store up in the little town of Cedar Glen where we lived. Actually, I bought this there because we needed more warm clothes. And it's so funny, Snowmass. I just thought it was like Snowmass, like Christmas, but Snowmass. And then come to find out, in Colorado, I think there's a city called Snowmass. And I got two awesome warm things from there, from the thrift store. This was a thrift store purchase, this frame, and I think it was $3. So it does perfectly because it looks like a tree trunk. So need to get that done. But there we go. Second one down. What do we do next? I did a big purchase. Oh, it's 20 minutes, so we better get moving along because I need to get this done, because who knows if I'll even be able to get it uploaded. I could just be talking to myself. But I did a big purchase, not big. I think I ordered 4 patterns from Threadwork Primitives, knocked them all out. So I was very excited. This one is winter. Let's see where I have. Do I have this? Oh, this was, yeah, I told you about drawn thread. Here we go. So this one is winter 1737. And when I started stitching this, I didn't even think of it at this point. But when I started stitching it, I thought, oh, it looks like Sid the sloth from, what was that? I don't know, Ice Age, something like that. My kids are older. So one of those Disney shows. I thought, oh my gosh, it looks like Sid. And I thought, I will always see that every time I look at it. So I needed to do a little adjustment to it. So I added more to it somehow, but I still see it still looks like Sid. But I realize I got these off center, so I may leave it or I may change it. And I don't know what this is. So this is a 32 count coffee dyed. So I had something that was called smoky white, and then it was too light for me, so I coffee dyed it. What kind of thread that is, don't know. I'll tell you when I do the fully finishing, because again, never would have done this if I had to keep going. Oh, and look at what you have here. So this is a fun one. This is a freebie from the Primitive Hair, Christmas Bells, and I think I did this in Red Currant. I wanted it super, super dark and more primitive. So there you go with that. And here was my other Threadwork Primitives. Let's see. So here was the Primitive Hair Christmas Bells freebie. Then we have, this one I had been wanting for a long time. I got Fractor, and so Pennsylvania Fractor. And it's stitched up, even though I stitch in hoop, so it goes very slow, but that's just the way I roll. So cool. And this, because I'm a primitive, I like primitive decor, this is a treasured piece of, I think it was Cosmic Platinum by Dames the Needle. And I have not wanted to use it because I didn't have much of it left. So that's a treasure. And I'll do more chatty later, because I actually had a great conversation with Beth from Dames of the Needle. Anyway, and she said, yes, that is a really hard one to dye, because I said I've been looking for it. Oh, this is fun. I forgot I had this. So this is from, it's that little tiny Blackbird book, but this one I whipped up quick because of course we're doing all the snow stuff. And we have deer, right, that go through our backyard too, or it's not a yard. Anyway, it goes through our back area. But this one I did on something. It was all called for. So I think it was probably putty, but this is what I'm going to do with it. Oh, I'm going to break the box. Okay, so this is a box from Hobby Lobby, and my goodness, inflation is crazy. So these have gone up 30% in like a year and a half, along with I mean, it's not just Hobby Lobby, everybody. So I am so glad that I have a lot of stuff, but this is going to go on that box. So I'm going to do another stitching box. I love doing stitching boxes. So that's going to be a stitching box. So I've got that one to work on. We're going to put that here so it doesn't break. And then, my goodness, I got this out and it was almost done, but I had messed up with something and it just hung me up. I finally finished it, and I had some wool that I had made a scarf and I didn't like it, so I took it off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it because just the cost of getting things framed, not anything that I'm up for right now. So I will probably do some kind of a pillow. I'll share more because nothing's written on this. When I do the finish, I'll share more about that. So that one is Not Forgotten Farm. Then, oh, look at this. We have all the black, the Beggars ones. So this is my 4th of July, so Beggars 4th by, I think it's Threadwork Primitives too. And I am working right now on Beggar's Luck. So I will have the whole complete series done, and this one I do frame. So we'll get going on that. Oh my. Okay, here's another stitching box. And I have done more stitching boxes since I last did the videos, but because we were up at our cabin, incredibly tiny little cabin, especially when it was under construction, it was little teeny tiny, so I didn't do any finishing up there. I did stitching because cross stitch is nice and small, so there's a lot of things that I need to do. This Christie's pattern from Daisy K's Primitives, Old Glory, and it's going to be in a box. So this is what happens. These are the plain card boxes from Hobby Lobby, and again, these went up $1 too. But they're so you can do cards in there. But this was just the first. I put paint on there, then I sand it a little bit, and then I do the brie wax, some kind of wax. I'll share that and make it real primitive. So that's going to be in the works. And then I'm also going to be doing, if you have seen my old videos or look back for a box, I do lots of fun gewgaws in there, and I love designing, so that gives me a lot of joy. Then, oh my. Okay, let's see if we can get through some of this. I have a lot of stuff. I've been stitching a lot. Okay, so it is so funny because I had pretty much, I kind of just totally stepped back from FlossTube for a while. Wasn't really even watching it. I would sneak in once in a while, but I had stepped away from it, and I just stitched. But recently I was catching up with Christie's floss tubes, and it was like visiting with an old friend again. It was so marvelous. But she was sharing this, and she was saying it's hard to find some primitives, and it was from like Ashberry's Echoes. It just popped up on Etsy, and I did color changes. But this is the back, this will be the front. This look, I'm sure that's Wren, but I'll share about what I stitched it with. But that was fun. It was very fun to find something primitive. Okay. Oh, this is fun looking through here. Finding all kinds of treasures. Okay, so this, oh, I don't know. Probably Primitive Stitching by Shelly On. I did this instead of the coffee dye, tea dye, I did this on a blue background. And yeah, it didn't really excite me when I was done with it. So I was trying to think of what to do, and I thought, oh, I need more project bags. I only have like 50, so of course I need some more. And I really do love making project bags. So this is going to be a project bag. But that was fun. And again, when I do my finishes, I'll share lots of stuff because the time is ticking away. Okay, so this, oh, these were so, look at, I got a lot of use out of this pattern. This, I think it was Country Rustic Primitives. Again, I don't know that I'm going to do all the show notes because goodness knows, this is enough for me, but I will share this. This is going to be a pillow, and I've made two. One of them is going to go to a friend, and I'm going to put the wool that she had given me from a friend of hers on the back. And then this one, see, I made two. It was so much fun. I made for myself, and I will probably do a pillow with something like that on the back. Then, of course, I was thinking, because that was the time when this was in January of last year. So this was before what they call Snowmageddon. With, I think at the cabin, we left. And thank God we left, because I was going to stay up there while Kurt went to a doctor's appointment for a couple days and come back, and it would not have been good, because a lot of people were stuck inside their homes, and I would have been too. I think no one saw our cabin because it's so backwoods. Nobody could get out for a long time and walk around. Some people got out of their homes right away, but I think our little cabin probably had 6 to 9 feet of snow. So um, so this was back when the snow was fun. But this one is going to be a box too. So it's going to be a box just like this. And so it will probably be a fun blue, but it's going to be, snow is going to be on the outside of it. And then, like I said, on the inside, I always do a pin cushion, and I put wool in the bottom, and then I do a needle book and then a fun needle minder. So I've been thinking about the fun things along the way, but where are we going to, oh, this is what the needle minder is going to be. So no, not the needle minder, the needle book. I'm going to make a little needle book. That's going to be that. Where that came from, I'll share later, because I know it was from another pattern. But the inside is going to be this little guy. So this was from, I had to kind of squish it and change it a little bit, but this one was from With Thy Needle and Thread pattern. So I'll share that again. This is just kind of getting it figured out, but I have so much fun pulling threads that, like, this is going to be the wool, and this will be probably part of it too. But I love coordinating all that and making things more difficult to make them fun, and that's cool. I forgot I had this. So this is from Primitive Betty's, and again on Etsy. And this, I'm sure this is Country Redwood. I keep doing this. Country Redwood. I love Country Redwood. So I'll share more about this one. I don't know what I'm going to do. It will fit in a frame, but I really want to do a book kind of a thing. So that will be fun. These are just all my bits and pieces for helping me choose everything blue, helping me put everything together. It was good that it was all in here. And then look at even some bells for that Christmas bell one. Now, there's another one that I had. Oh, here we go. This was a freebie from Not Forgotten Farm. So I primatized it up. I probably changed the colors. I don't know. But I wanted it more primitive. I may do it as a pillow. I don't know when I'm going to do this out, but I liked this fabric with it. And when we took down our Christmas decorations, I was talking with a neighbor, and I said, what do you do for winter decorations? And she said she has a lot of decorations that she leaves up after Christmas that aren't Christmassy, that are wintry. So I did that too, and it was fun. And then we made a trip back to California, and I missed Valentine's Day. So I didn't really get to decorate for Valentine's Day. I think we got back a couple days before that. But it was fun. It was fun because I love decor. I was a vendor. I did crafts, and I'm looking up here. Do I have any? No, nothing I made up there. Anyway, I was a craft vendor for a couple decades. And so I love decorations. So that was fun. Now, this is where I may cry. So if you can't handle tears, check out here. But in the process of life with my father, I had watched a couple videos to say, what did I say before I checked out and ran away? And a couple of the videos I said I was very unsettled and life was kind of rough. My father had dementia, and he had gotten it after he had a stroke, and life got very, very, very rough because he was a very independent man and he needed help, but he didn't remember that he needed help. And so my sister and I basically managed him from California. When he was out here, he would have lived right down the street from me, almost to a couple miles away. But we managed him from a distance for about a year. And that was not fun for a man that didn't want help. So that was part of the unsettling. And then basically my sister and I kind of had little mini nervous breakdowns. And things changed after that. But needless to say, it was a bumpy ride for a long time. And then in the passing away of my father and the settling of his affairs afterwards, my brother, my sister, and I, even though we're all very, very different, we united. And I just said all for one and one for all. So that's how we've always done things. And we stuck together. We each took different avenues of what we could to help with my father. But in the process of that, we really united. So I finished this year, but I was reading my journal. So this is a freebie from Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery. And I had done most of it. I think I had done about that much. And then this was one that I wanted to finish up. And I was trying to think of what initials that I wanted to do at the bottom, because she had 5 initials at the bottom. And I wasn't sure if it would make me too sad or not. Anyway, I did this to commemorate what my family all went through in the passing away of my mother and my father and my sister, myself and my brother, handling it all and doing it all and learning and making mistakes and just doing it and honoring my father as much as we could in the process. But I don't really decorate. This is like the only thing that I would have for New Year's Eve. And so I was trying to think, what should I do? And I have a box actually that I could fit it on, one of the Hobby Lobby boxes, but I thought, I don't know that I would really have a place for that, but a project bag I would have. So this is some fabric that my mother gave me, not really my style, but it goes, flipping this all around, it goes very well with the colors. So I'm thinking about making a project bag with that. And good girl, I haven't cried yet. Okay, so that's pretty good. Anything I didn't share? Oh, where is this guy? I don't know, somewhere. I finished that too. It was probably on the back of one of those things that I showed you. And you may have seen that, but I missed it. But this was, so I stitched everything that I purchased from Threadwork Primitives. And it's really cute, especially because we got deer romping all over all the time, which Riley thinks he needs to attack all the time. So it's very interesting. Okay, 37 minutes. What else do I want to tell y'all? I don't know. I should probably just end this. But I am very glad to be back. Like I said, I had not logged into I didn't even know if my YouTube channel had gotten hacked, because something under the bottom, I would look at it once in a while and it would say at Log Cabin Stitcher and some numbers. And I thought, I didn't do that. So did I get hacked? I had an Instagram account years ago that got hacked. I have not been into my Instagram account, so goodness knows. I was brave enough for this because I don't like technology and I always get freaked out. And so there's a lot of me that is changing along the way, and a lot of me that, woo, I've probably gone bonkers, and that's just the way it is. But I don't even know I responded to one comment. So I got a lot of catching up to do. I started reading through just some of the comments, and again, I hadn't read through any of them since probably before I did that last YouTube channel, because we were already in the midst of getting our house redone. It took me 4 months to get the house ready for sale, and it was crazy, and I did a lot of the work, so that was super crazy. But anyway, I haven't read comments for probably 2 years. I don't know. But I read a comment and I responded to one. I got a lot of, I'm going to work on it. But my husband was downstairs and I said, let me read you this. And so I just read a couple comments. And he said, who is that from? And I said, my stitching family, the people that come and visit me in my sewing room. That's who that's from. And he goes, oh my goodness. And I said, yep, I gotta get back on. I gotta do this. So here I am doing it and sharing my life along the way in my stitching. And I have done a lot of stitching, and I want to share that with you guys, and we will. So now this is where I share my faith and how I do life in my faith. So um, if if that's not your thing, thank you so much for joining me and being a part of this life again with me. And and I appreciate you being here. And so for those of you that like me sharing about the real me, and this is where I almost always cry, because man, life is crazy. But life has been amazing and very, very difficult and very wonderful. And God has answered so many prayers that we have had, but it's a lot of it's been through a very painful journey. And one thing that I have learned since I saw you guys last and we walked out of our home for the last time on June 30th, 2022, walked out of the home for the last time, the garden, that was the super hard part. Walked out of the garden, went to live at the cabin full time because thank God we did not buy my dad's house. I'm very grateful that we didn't, but we walked out of that house having no idea where we were going to move to. And we're like, well, I mean, we knew before that day, but we knew we had the cabin. It needed restored, but it really only had the loft, was all we could use. The kitchen, anyway, it was a mess. So here I walk out of my house of 35 years, going to live at the cabin. And I just thought, whoa, this is going to be a ride. And it has been, for those of you old people, it has been an e-ticket Disney ride. And it's been exciting. But the one thing that I have learned along the way that I share with my friends is that everything that I thought that would happen is like the story of my life. The story of my life that I wrote, nothing's turned out like that. And there's been a lot of tears. There's been a lot of heartache. There's been a lot of joy and gladness too. But I have learned everything that I thought it was going to be. I learned to submit to God and say, okay, God, I give this up to you. You step in, step in and help me out. And it has been amazing beyond what we expected from every single thing. And some of those things are still in submission. Some of those things are still very painful parts of my life that are still in submission because they involve other people. But God is good, and He is faithful, and that's what I have to keep in mind. In the move, I found, this is what I used to do. I used to write down verses on scrapbook paper and I would stick them places. And it's funny. This is the writing of one of my sons from when he was a kid. But I found this verse and I found it, I think, at the end of December. And I thought, this is going to be, I didn't choose a word for the year, but I chose a verse for the year. This is my verse, Deuteronomy 31:8. And the Lord, He is the one who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be dismayed. That has been huge for me because we have a lot of stuff in our life going on right now that causes us fear and dismay. But life is messy. Life is messy. But I know my Jesus is with me and He is faithful and He will help me through these things. And that's what I want to share with you, is that's what I've learned. I'll share more stuff along the way. And there we go. So thank you guys for being with me. And I did it. I got through the end without bawling. All right, guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye.